Hello everyone and welcome to my January TBR. So reading wise this month for me, it's going to be like review city in here because I have a whopping 9 arcs that all come out at some point in January that I need to read and write reviews for and let you guys know what I think about them. So they take up pretty much my entire TBR for this month, but I am not mad about that at all because I am genuinely excited for all of the books that I am going to talk about in this video. So I'm going to kick things off with a comic that isn't actually on my review list, but it has just come out. It's just arrived at my house today, being the 2nd of January. I know I'm going to be posting this tomorrow at some point, but I am going to be digging into this later today and hopefully finish it by the end of today too, and that is Saga Volume 8 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. And I have loved all 7 of the previous installments in this comic series. Obviously, because this is number 8, I'm not going to tell you too much about what's happened so far, but this series follows a couple who come from opposing sides of a warring planet and its moon, and they have a baby together, and they are on the run from various groups of people who want to catch up to them and punish them for being together and for having this child, because obviously they're not supposed to be together because they are supposed to be enemies. So it's kind of like a sci-fi Romeo and Juliet, I guess, but I love it. It's so addictive, it's so fast paced. I will say that there is quite a lot of graphic imagery of sex and violence and general craziness, so if you are sensitive to any of that, I probably wouldn't recommend the Saga series, but I absolutely love it and I cannot wait to see what happens in this latest installment. So yeah, very excited for this. Now on to the mountain of review books that I have to get through this month. So the first lot that I'm going to talk about all come out on the 11th of January, so I do need to get cracking with some of these. So the first one that comes out on the 11th is The Sacrifice Box by Martin Stewart, and I'm going to read you at the back of this. Sep, Arkle, Mac, Lamb and Hadley, 5 friends thrown together one summer. When they discover an ancient stone box in the forest, they each make a sacrifice, something special committed to the box forever, and they make a pact. They will never visit the box alone, they'll never return to it at night, and they'll never take back their offerings. 4 years later, a series of strange and terrifying events take place. Someone broke the rules and now everyone has to pay, but how much are they willing to sacrifice? This has been compared to Stranger Things and Stand By Me, and this was actually in my 5-star predictions video because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love this. I think I'm gonna get through it quite quickly, and I'm really excited to dig into it and obviously let you guys know what I think and get a review up hopefully before the 11th. So yeah, really excited for this. The next one that comes out on the 11th of January is The Truth and Lies of Ella Black by Emily Barr, and I read her YA debut, The One Memory of Flora Banks. I think I read it at the end of 2016. I think it came out early 2017, but I had a NetGalley arc of it, so I think I read it at the end of 2016, but I really enjoyed that. So this is her latest YA release, so I'm going to read you the back. It says, I call her Bella because she's the dark side of me. It's Ella but not. It's bad Ella. Bella. I thought of that a few years ago and it made it a bit better because before that I called it the monster. Anything's a tiny bit better when it has a name. Bella is better than the monster. Bella is desperate to own the whole of me. I'm alert and battling all the time. Sometimes I have to let her out before everything explodes, but after that happens I feel calm and peaceful and I think kind of happy. So that sounds really intriguing. It sounds quite a lot darker than Flora Banks, possibly someone who has multiple personalities and one of those personalities probably isn't all that nice. It sounds really good, and obviously this comes out on the 11th of January too, so I will be reading and reviewing this very soon, so stay tuned for that. The next one that comes out on the 11th is 3 Things About Elsie by Joanna, and this is a kind of literary mystery kind of book about an old lady who has fallen over in her flat, and while she's waiting to be rescued she starts thinking about her life. She gets worried that a secret from her past is about to be uncovered, and apparently a guy has recently moved into her block who has a very strong resemblance to someone who she knows died 60 years before. So it sounds very quirky, very mysterious, exactly like my kind of thing, so I'm really excited to get stuck into this, and this comes out on the 11th of January too. Another book that comes out on the 11th of January is If I Die Before I Wake by Emily Koch, and this is a thriller unlike any thriller I think I've ever read before. So this follows a guy who is in hospital and all of the medical staff and all of his family believe that he is in a coma, but he isn't because he can hear everything that's going on, and the accident that put him there isn't actually an accident, and he has to try and communicate somehow to everyone all of this before they decide to switch his life support machine off. And it just sounds so good, so unique, and I cannot wait to get into this. And this comes out on the 11th of January too, so really excited for this one. The next lot of arcs don't come out until the 25th of January, so I do have a bit of time between these massive blocks of reading lows to get all of these read. And one of those is The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. I believe this is a debut thriller about a woman who has a very severe agoraphobia, and she lives all of the time in her flat, but she's always looking out of her window at the world around her, and she sees a nice looking young family move into her neighborhood, and she basically follows their lives just by watching them through the window. And then one day she sees something that she's not supposed to have seen, and she starts wondering what she's going to do about it. Can anyone ever believe her? Can she really trust herself? And it just sounds so good. It sounds kind of like Girl on the Train, but with obviously the added element of agoraphobia thrown in there as well. So it just sounds so good, and I cannot wait to get into this. And I believe this comes out on the 25th of January, so I will be reading and reviewing this month too. The next one that also comes out on the 25th of January is Anything You Do Say by Gillian McAllister, and I don't know too much about this. This is another psychological thriller though. I think it's about a woman who one night when she's walking home, she hears footsteps behind her, and she starts to suspect it might be this guy who has been stalking her quite a lot recently, and she makes the decision to turn round, punches him, knocks him out, and he is motionless, face down on the floor. And it's literally what she decides to do in that minute. Is she going to own up and give herself into the police, or is she going to run away? And it just sounds so good, and just the power and the emotion behind what you would do in that split second just sounds so exciting. So really excited to get into this, and this comes out on the 25th of January too, so really excited for this one. Another one that comes out on the 25th of January is yet another psychological thriller called Fear by Dirk Kurbjuweit, and I've probably butchered that name, but this again sounds like a very unique thriller. This is about a guy whose family have been terrorized by a neighbor, and I think he ends up murdering this guy, and I think it's all about the question about whether murder is ever actually the right thing to do. Are you ever actually justified in killing someone? And it just sounds absolutely amazing. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. The next one comes out on the 30th of January, so right at the end of this month we will see the release of The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, and this is a YA fantasy about a girl whose grandmother is the author of a book of dark fairy tales, and when her grandmother dies, her mother is kidnapped by a strange shadowy figure claiming to be from the world that her grandmother created, and she has to team up with a super fan of her grandmother who she goes to school with in order to get her mother back and essentially obviously put everything right. It just sounds really crazy, but really something that I would very much enjoy. So yeah, really looking forward to getting into this one too. And the last one on my TBR for this month actually comes out on the 1st of February, but I will obviously have to read it before that date, and that is The Wicked Comet by Laura Carlin. And this is a historical fantasy kind of thing where it's set in, I think it's like Victorian London, or maybe a little bit before Victorian times, where poor people seem to be going missing, and our main character is very poor, but she is trying to do everything she can to up her station a little bit, and she ends up being tutored by a very rich, wealthy family. But while she's under their tutelage, rumours start circulating about her past, and she ends up being thrown into the heart of this mystery of all of these missing people. And it just sounds really good, something a little bit different too. So yeah, really looking forward to reading and reviewing this one this month. And that is it for my January TBR. What do you hope to read this month? Please let me know. I am also actually waiting on a copy of Marie Lu's Batman book, so if I have any kind of free time to read something else this month, hopefully I will read that, but if not, that will roll over into my February TBR. But yeah, I'm really excited about all the review books that I have for January, so yeah, really pumped for all of these. So I will leave all of my social media in the description down below. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.